So now that the mercenary or the merc with the mouth is dominating the cinemas with the third film entry, which is Deadpool and Wolverine, I had an itch that I couldn't just scratch off. So I was feeling very nostalgic. And then I remembered the Deadpool game that came out back in 2013. Now, this is a game that I have very fond memories of. I would argue it to be my favorite Marvel game, probably ever. This is a game I have played multiple times and only finished twice. Now, this is a game that tries to do too much, and some of these additions are good, and others, or but a few of them are bad. But overall, the game is a very great experience. So if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and now onto the video. Now let's talk about the campaign. The game starts with our titular mercenary in his apartment, getting his advances turned down by a certain female X-Men character. This was to lay the groundwork for many comical innuendos to come. And trust me, there are a lot of them.
Lo behold! Number one fangirl is hot!
Then immediately receives a message from a gaming executive from High Moon Studios, the actual development studio behind the game itself. And this was its own way of breaking the fourth wall, which is the common action for the mercenary himself. He pitched an idea for a game but gets turned down by the studio. And well, probably, and in fairness, probably because the story was silly and it didn't help that the pitch was written all in crayon. So with very little introduction, you can tell how silly the game is going to be going forward. But remember, this is about a video game in an actual video game. So our mercenary did eventually have his way.
Relax. You know he's gonna call back.
Oh, yeah, because of the...
Deadpool! Hey, it's Peter. You know, dickhead. Remember when I called you earlier and told you no? I'm such a joker, because I meant yes, of course. The new proposal you sent over this morning went off with a big bang in the office today. Genius. Just genius. So, sum it up, congratulations. Let's make a video game.
See? Once again, our explosive personality wins the day. High five!
No high fives, we're voices in our head.
I've got my top designers banging away on a script right now. As soon as it's ready, we'll send it right over.
Script?
The game does well to help newcomers who probably do not know the characters and their relevance with very quick backstories. I like this approach because it does not give too much information in case the player wants to read the comics to know more. This is a game that knew its audience and gave a lot of fan service, and I mean a lot of it. It's definitely a game of its time. Most of the character designs is beautiful and vibrant with great colors. Now to be specific, the enemies are okay, sure. There isn't a huge variety of them. They do perform a great job at posing a challenge. However, more praise I think should go to the other friendly characters that appear throughout the game, like Cable or Rogue, and even Death. Now that's just to mention a few. But they shine not just in personality, but in their respective roles.
Very uncomfortable.
You,
Me!
Deadpool, you repulsive, putrid mutant.
Wasn't sinister, that was a clone!
Overall, the game is very silly, and at times, Deadpool addresses the players through cutscenes and in-game, making fun of the game itself as well as the player. The story itself could be Deadpool goes on a killing spree. Sure, there is an antagonist, but the story was never personal with the main character himself. But it still works because it just shows the excesses and the zaniness of the anti-hero. Now let's get to the gameplay. This, in my opinion, is a smart blend between a hack and slash and an action shooter. I personally played this game on the hardest difficulty in this current playthrough, which may not feel very demanding at first, but will become a headache when you reach the final stage. Yes, it does the typical throw a lot of enemies at you to make it challenging. I would only recommend it if you have fully maxed out your weapons and character. But in fairness, the difficulty makes you think faster and be more alert. It was through this difficulty I realized how the game was really meant to be played. Now, Deadpool, for those who are very familiar, has two swords and two guns. Those are his primary weapons you will start with, but they are very underpowered. The game does have an item menu which gives you the option to buy more weapons and tools along the way. So the question is, what currency is used to purchase these tools and weapons? Now, the currency for the game are Deadpool points or DP points, small tokens which are very scarce. Now, that is one way of getting the currency, by just going through the world and picking whatever currency wherever it is left or wherever it has been placed, just collecting them. But there is another way, which is through the combat. Now, this is where the combat shines. The currency builds up through the use of Deadpool's various weapons and tools. So you could cut enemies down with your sword, smash them with a hammer, or even blow them with a mine. It all builds up more Deadpool points. The weapons are very proficient and get better with newer upgrades, unlocking newer combos specific and unique to those weapons. For instance, gun combat. The devs tried not to make them feel like any basic use of a ranged weapon, but rather a fun extension next to melee weapons. The real beauty comes together when combining all weapon types together, and the synergy overall is beautiful. And if you ever get surrounded, you could simply teleport to create some distance, and that was another nice addition to the game. Deadpool, like Wolverine, has a cool healing factor, and that is where I appreciate what the game devs try to do, where every damage could rip open his costume, revealing both his face and skin. The downside to this, however, is how slow it is to heal up and how easy it is to take damage. But the beauty is that when he does die, it leads to a very awesome end game dialogue.
Ouch. Dipshit.
Now, there is a reason why Deadpool is called the Merc with a mouth, and he reminds you of that throughout the game, with some witty dialogue both to the enemies and you, the player.
What is this cheap prop?
Hey, hot tits, the pipe I was offering gives way more pleasure. Hey, have you bought any upgrades lately? It's a down moment, you know? Might be a good time. Just saying.
Although I feel this is a great missed opportunity, it may have helped in replayability if you could unlock more dialogue with more playthroughs, or Deadpool recognizing how good you are getting at the game and giving comments of praise. For me, I feel this was a big missed opportunity on their part. Then there are the unnecessary stealth sections in the game that are fun because of the kill execution, but doesn't really do much other than add more DP points to your arsenal. In terms of length, the game is pretty decent. It does not go on beyond one's comfort and could be completed under 6 to 7 hours, which is okay if you have a few hours to dedicate to gaming. So in conclusion, Deadpool is a game oozing with fun and amazing satire. If you need something gory, fun and quick, this is a game I would recommend playing again and again because the experience is fantastic and also a throwback to how simple and fun oriented games used to be. If you have been able to see through this video, thank you, and I hope to see you again. Till the next video.
This will not end well.
He's in the showers!
Good, your backup is arrived. I was running out of answers.